March 1944. Over Nazi Germany. 23,000 feet above the ground. The sky looks calm. But calm skies are the most dangerous. Inside a B-17 Flying Fortress, 9 American airmen brace for what they know is coming. German fighters. They always come from behind. Fast. Silent. Deadly. And the man who faces them first sits alone in a narrow metal tube at the back of the aircraft. The tail gunner. Most crews don't expect their tail gunner to survive a full tour. On this mission, one tail gunner will change how air combat is fought forever. The deadliest seat on the bomber. The tail gunner's position was simple. You sat alone. You watched the sky behind you. And you waited for death to appear. Enemy fighters loved attacking from the rear. Straight line. Perfect angle. That made tail gunners priority targets. Statistics were terrifying. More than 1/3 of tail gunners never made it home. Most training focused on one idea. Defend. Don't provoke. Save ammunition. One man rejected all of it. A different kind of soldier. Staff Sergeant Michael "Mad Mike" Donovan didn't grow up gently. He grew up in South Boston. A place where backing down meant losing respect. Where survival meant acting first. Before the war, Mike learned a hard lesson early. Waiting gets you hurt. When he joined the Army Air Forces after Pearl Harbor, the military wanted him as ground crew. He refused. He demanded gunner training. Instructors warned him. You're too aggressive. You expose yourself. You don't think defensively. Mike's reply was short. Dead men don't defend anything. Gunnery school problem. At gunnery school, Mike caused trouble. Not because he missed shots. Because he shot too fast. While others waited for perfect angles, Mike fired early. He tracked targets faster than anyone else. Not because he was calmer. Because he was decisive. He didn't wait for permission from the enemy. First combat missions. By early 1944, Mike joined a B-17 bomber crew flying deep into Germany. The bomber already had a bad reputation. 2 previous missions nearly ended in disaster. The last tail gunner survived, but asked to be reassigned. He said the position was cursed. Mike volunteered immediately. When the pilot warned him about survival odds, Mike smiled. I like those odds, he said. March 6, 1944, the day everything changed. Mission target, an aircraft factory deep inside Germany. Enemy resistance expected to be heavy. As the bombers crossed into hostile airspace, the warning came. Fighters, 6 o'clock high. 12 German fighters appeared in formation. Standard training said, wait. Mike did the opposite. At extreme distance, far beyond normal firing range, he opened fire. Tracers cut through empty sky. No hits. But something more important happened. The German formation broke. Taking control of the sky. The fighters regrouped cautiously. They had never been fired on this early before. Mike fired again. Short bursts. Not to kill. To confuse. One fighter held course. Mike let it come closer. Then unleashed everything. The enemy aircraft exploded. The remaining fighters hesitated. That hesitation was fatal. One by one, they broke off. The second wave. Minutes later, more fighters arrived. More organized. More aggressive. Mike focused on one direction only. He trusted his crew. He destroyed 2 fighters in seconds. The rest fled. German pilots were no longer attacking. They were reacting. Running out of ammo. By mid-mission, Mike's ammunition was nearly gone. German fighters returned, this time in massive numbers. 40+ aircraft. Any standard defense would fail. Mike made one final decision. He attacked while they were forming up. Not aiming at planes. Aiming at coordination. The formation collapsed. Some aircraft collided. Others scattered. The attack never happened. Empty guns, full fear. Finally, Mike ran out of ammunition. completely dry. German fighters approached again. This time, Mike had nothing left, except confidence. He tracked the lead fighter perfectly. The enemy pilot flinched. He broke formation. The rest followed. The guns were empty. But the fear was real. The aftermath. The bomber survived. All crew survived. Enemy losses were staggering. What shocked command wasn't the kill count. It was the method. Mike hadn't defended. He had controlled the fight. A new doctrine is born. High Command interviewed Mike immediately. They asked him one question. Can this be taught? Mike answered honestly. Not to everyone. Only certain men could do it. Those willing to accept risk. Those willing to act first. Training the aggressive gunners. Mike trained hundreds of tail gunners. His rules were simple. Don't wait. Break formations early. Attack confidence, not just aircraft. Fear spreads faster than bullets. Results were undeniable. Casualties dropped. Enemy attacks failed. German pilots avoided certain bombers entirely. Enemy reaction. Captured German reports confirmed it. American gunners had become aggressive. Unpredictable. Dangerous. German pilots were ordered to avoid them. The psychological war had shifted. The men who never bragged. After the war, Mike Donovan returned home. No speeches. No fame. Construction work. Family life. When asked about the war, he said, I did what needed doing. Thousands lived because of that attitude. History often celebrates heroes who attack. But sometimes, the greatest courage is refusing to wait. On one day in 1944, a tail gunner taught the enemy to be afraid. And the sky has never forgotten. This is war-era records. We remember what history tries to forget. Like. Subscribe. Comment where you're watching from. Because remembering them is how we honor them.